Hello everyone, how you doing? It's been a while. You're probably wondering where I'm at right now, and I am at the Chinese graveyard here in San Antonio, Texas. Looks a bit different from the last time I came here, which was about 8 years ago or so. Times are changing once again, and I'm here to document it. Now, this is Zarzamora Road, a bit different from 8 years ago. Many vehicles drive down this road now to go to the Toyota plant that is on Applewhite Road. But as you can see here, there is new development. We have apartment buildings, we have new neighborhoods, and a new hospital that's being built on this road. But what's really shocking is what I'm about to show you here. Again, I recorded this cemetery about 8 years ago. It was like my very first video on this channel. The entrance to the cemetery used to be right here, and you would walk through here and into the cemetery. The gate was totally different, but I believe someone ran through the gate and they built this new gate, as you see right here. The remnants of the old gate is shown here. And when I walk through here, you're greeted by this cross. Sorry, I have to talk really loud to drain out the noise behind me. Now, this cemetery has many names. For us locals, it's known as the Chinese graveyard, but it is also known as the Guzman Cemetery, or the Lona China Cemetery, or Loma China Cemetery. And in this video, I'm just gonna give more of an in-depth tour of this cemetery and show you how it looks like today in November of 2025, as I'm currently recording right now. I asked my followers on Instagram if I should do a video on this place, and a lot of people said yes. So that is what I'm going to be doing today. Now, in this cemetery, you see a lot of last names like Guzman. Just like the last name we saw on that cross over there. I already shared the urban legends of this place, but like I mentioned, I just want to do a documentation of the current state of the cemetery. I am not here to cause any disrespect. As always, I am just here to document. I'm hoping that by recording this cemetery and recording the headstones that you see here, that maybe, you know, someone that's watching has family members that are buried here. You know, this could give them some kind of comfort knowing that they're not forgotten. You know, there is an urban legend behind the cemetery, and I'll be honest, I think that urban legend is dying down. And the reason why I say that is because of the development that's taking place around this cemetery. And I'll admit that at one point this cemetery was kind of creepy. You know, it's notorious for witchcraft from back in the day. Here we have the grave of Marco Antonio Molina. Sorry, is there thorns on here? His birthday passed about 5 days ago. Happy birthday, sir. It's a thorn bush. This tree is kind of creepy. I think this is the tree that had the no witchcraft sign on it. Not sure what that is right there that's hanging on that limb. But there is a grave underneath it of Willie Guzman. As always, this video is unscripted. I don't really have much to say other than I know it's been a while since I posted a video. You know, life just gets to you, and sometimes you just don't have time to do the things that you want to do. Here's a bench here. I'm not sure why it's overturned like this. A lot of trash, a lot of debris. Again, I am here to document everything. As you can see, people still come here to visit their loved ones. Some graves are more visible compared to others. Robert Perez, may you rest in peace. The grave of Daniel Machado. What's very unfortunate is that these pictures are ruined, possibly by vandalism. You can tell right here that there is an outline of a grave. You have this one right here. It's pretty interesting. It's like a little flower bed. Kind of make out something. Yeah, not entirely sure what that is. I see, I mean, it looks like it says Hope. I see an H and an O-P-E. Hope someone? I don't know, maybe their first name was Hope Vasquez, or not entirely sure. Federico Costilla. This one right here, Gregorio and Jimmy both died July 16th, 1966. I'm sure there's a story there. I believe the further we get into the cemetery, the older the graves are. Can't really tell the date on this one. Died 1960. Here we have a baby. Some random headstone or base for a headstone there. Wow, this person was 99 years old. Bud McBurney, June 25th, 1883 to August 22nd, 1955. There's a bunch of cactus on this grave. This is Julian Vasquez, 1910 to 1940. It says on here Southside Funeral Home. So this is, I believe, like the temporary marker that the funeral home puts on your grave until you get your permanent tombstone. But what they did is they just put that temporary marker on some concrete. And there's some shells on this grave as well. Wow. What's really weird, I just discovered this right now. There's a lot of these candles here. And there's a grave there for David Y. Aguilar, 1946. I can't really see the date there, but that kind of worries me a little bit. As I mentioned, this place is known for witchcraft, or was at one point. I don't know if it still takes place, I'm not going to touch anything. I'm not even going to step foot here. But yeah, there's candles here, a lot of candles, and I don't know why it's just here. So I'm going to be cautious about that. Here we have a grave that's decorated in Halloween decorations. Looks like this person died in 1976. Juanita Aguilar. As I mentioned, the graves back here are way older. This person died in 1933. I'm not sure what that grave says there. That's kind of random. Here we have Martin and Santos Perez. And this right here is where I caught that EVP. I believe I was here like maybe in 2020, 5 years ago or so. Wait. I think you be the judge. But now that we're at the back of the cemetery, I wanted to show you what's totally different now. And that is this neighborhood that is being built right behind the Chinese graveyard. Many years ago, there was nothing but trees and shrubbery and everything. Nothing was here. Nothing was developed. And you see here this new neighborhood being built right behind the Chinese graveyard. To think that there's going to be a future home built here right next to this graveyard that is filled with urban legends and stories of witchcraft taking place here. Wow. In a sense, it's kind of sad because I know this is a cemetery. It's a sacred place. People have their loved ones buried here. But at the same time, it takes away that feeling of you're just here surrounded by all these trees with all this shrubbery. It kind of takes away that feeling of just being alone in your thoughts at this place. Granted, the buildings over here have been here for quite some time, but they don't really bother you here. But when I showed you at the front of the cemetery all the development that's taking place, new apartments, neighborhoods, a hospital, traffic because of the Toyota plant, and now you have this here, the cemetery kind of loses its creepiness, and it kind of loses that feeling of you're alone with all the people that are buried here. So I just wanted to document showing this is what's happening right now around the Chinese graveyard. And it can't be stopped because San Antonio is just growing. And to just think, like I said, the people that are going to be living here are going to have some really interesting neighbors. I'm not sure when they're going to start building houses on this part of the land, but when someone does move in here, and hopefully they see this video, I would like them to contact me and tell me if they've experienced anything paranormal. And I'm sorry, you know I'm just here to document a cemetery, and I'm doing it with the utmost respect. But I'm very curious to see if anybody experiences anything. because this cemetery is like no other. And I just find it really interesting that I don't know what they're going to put right here. Maybe a big fence, maybe a new entrance to this cemetery. I don't know, but I think it's really interesting to see this new view from the Chinese graveyard. So I want to get a view from the other side looking into the Chinese graveyard. And here we are. Wow. We are looking at the Chinese graveyard, standing on this newly constructed road in this neighborhood. I would have never thought that I'd be standing right behind the Chinese graveyard looking in. Here is a grave. Just kidding. Looks like some electrical line is being put underground. The reason why I know that is because of the CPS stick there. But wow. I believe that gate was always here. And I might be wrong. There might have been like a little alleyway or something. But it wasn't really that wide. And then you had all these trees surrounding this area here. Fascinating. You see the cranes here for the new hospital that they're building across the street. So there you have it. Let's get back into the cemetery. So we're back into the cemetery. And here you have these white crosses. And what's interesting is that the dates of whoever is buried here are engraved in this concrete. Kind of make out what it says. There's Isidoro, John. I don't know what that is. There's another one here, Johnny. Oh, I'm sorry. It says made by Isidoro Johnny Guzman. I don't know who's buried here. And this bench right here used to say Loma China Cemetery. There are pictures online of this bench as well. And here we have, I've seen this before too, this grave. And here we have Elvira Guzman. And that angel is very beautiful but haunting. We still love you. And that concludes our tour of the Chinese graveyard here in San Antonio, Texas. I hope you enjoyed this more in-depth look of this cemetery. This will probably be the last video I do of this place. And I hope to make more videos in the future. As always, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And also, if you have an Instagram, follow me on there for any future updates on cemetery videos. I'm glad that y'all are here, and thanks for watching.